Yes, that is why
did you burn their body?
So when they
hold on, why did you burn their body?
I'm not the one that burned their body. It is
why did you tell them? Why did your team? Why did they burn the body?
Yes. He told me that we cannot leave them like that. So because it has killed them or the COVID has killed them already. Now saying he burned the body. And I said no. He told me that what concern is you know. And I said I'm the one that bring you to here. You now drunk at my head. So and I say just calm down.
Welcome back, guys. You remember the case of the Fatinoye family who ended up dead and burnt in their apartment after returning from church on the 1st of January 2023, and then a few days later the body of their son was also found tied and drowned in the Ogun River in Nigeria. Yeah, if you haven't yet watched that video, it's in my channel in the playlist. You can go and look it up and watch it. It will give you a better perspective before you watch this one. Now, if you remember that story, their driver survived, and then a domestic staff who lives with them also survived. The driver at a point was in police custody. He said he's not well. He was taken to the hospital and then he escaped. Now, I said in that video that I think this guy would be a suspect because it seems odd. And guess what? He has been arrested and he has confessed that he is the mastermind behind everything that happened. And trust you me, his confession will blow your mind. If you are ready for this true crime story, please buckle up and let's go. Now, this is the confession that the driver called Lekan Adekanbe gave to the police in Nigeria. Let's listen to it and then we'll take it from there afterwards.
Second year over, and I decided to revive him.
Okay, tó bá pa àwọn yìí, ó tó operation mélòó bẹ̀rẹ̀ tẹ̀tí lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn tẹ̀tí lọ bá ń.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni pé kí n jí fóònù. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni pé kí n jí fóònù ní fóònù.
Okay, wọ́n máa ń jí fóònù tẹ́lẹ̀.
Fóònù náà ni mo ti mọ. Fóònù tí mo ta fún mi yìí mo ti mọ Lekan yìí gbà yẹn.
Okay.
Kéèsì fóònù náà ni.
Fóònù tó jí tẹ́lẹ̀ náà tó ta fún Lekan ló fi mọ Lekan.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni láti gbà yẹn láti tó dábìrì 10 years báyìí. Around 2000.
Tó ti ń jí fóònù.
Around 2006 ni kéèsì yẹn ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Ìgbà tí nǹkan yẹn ṣẹlẹ̀ gbà yẹn mo kó l'Abẹ́òkúta. Ti lójú ló jẹ́ fún mi gbà yẹn.
Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ńgbà tó jí fóònù yẹn tó ta lé? Ṣé wọ́n mú yín gbà yẹn náà àbí?
Wọ́n mú wa.
Wọ́n mú yín gbà yẹn.
Wọ́n ta fóònù fún Lekan kọ́ tó ń fi mọ̀ ń gbà yẹn náà.
Ọwọ́ ta ló ti gbà fóònù gbà yẹn?
Ọwọ́ wọn sí kọ̀ báyìí tó wà ní. Now, I started to find guys that I feel looking at it now. I see one guy. That guy has some that where nobody they have gone. They want to buy it. And I did that. Go and bring that gun. What I did. That was the one call me the next 3 days. Call me.
So, at this so the time you went into the house.
That man.
Go ahead, hold on. When you went into the house, that they transferred the money to you. Oh yeah, tell us when they transferred the money to you, what did you do with the money? And how did you kill? What did you use to kill them?
I'm not the one that killed them.
Okay.
It's the man.
So where were you then?
Yes, thank you. When they did the money to me, I tried to do that.
How much?
They do 1.1 million 2,000. They supposedly do 102,000 GTR app account. So now open a new account and do 1 million. So in that account, that new account, I mean 8.5 million because it's the next 5 years. So now, Kofi now told me that I should take that woman to outside. So Kofi now go and find her, cut the man's head. So when he cut the man, he now told us that I should bring me and Adekanbe to bring that woman to outside back. So as we now open the door, we saw blood on the floor. So we now first jumped to the woman and shook the woman hands in his neck, cut the woman head. Then the woman now fell down. So now we now asked that do we have petrol in this house? And I said, no. He said, I don't have jet. I said, we have jet. Let's go and check. Now check the generator. I see, open the generator, you don't see plenty fuel. You now see fuel in the tank. So I 50 liters, I saw it in the tank. You now say, is it not fuel? Now you tell me that. You now say, now carry the fuel enter. As you carry the fuel enter, you now say, who is outside the gate? And their son. So enter. You now say, make them go. Then take them, we now lock the door, we now enter the kitchen. So we now steer them down, tie their hand in their leg. So they now say, I stay here, look at the there. So they now take the woman.
Okay, so
the car, they took it. Yes, that's the way.
Why did you burn their body?
So when they
hold on, why did you burn their body?
I'm not the one that burned their body.
Why did you tell them? What is your team? Why did they burn the body?
Yes. He told me that we cannot leave them like that. So because it has killed them or the Kofi has killed them already. Now say he burned the body. And I said no. He told me that what concern is you know. And I said I'm the one that bring you to here. They now drunk at my neck. So and I say just calm down and cooperate with me. He now take the two sons to the motor. Now knock them at the gate. So now he now say me I drive out outside the gate. And I drive outside the gate. So Kofi now take the fuel inside. So he now come down. He lock the door. So he now drive towards.
Who said the house are bliss?
Sir?
Who said the house are bliss? Who put fire there?
It's Kofi.
So now that you have done it, do you
The vehicle. Why is the vehicle now? The vehicle. I sold the vehicle at 100,000. He said the body 30,000. He said the engine 30,000. It's Akamo that go back and stole the vehicle because he has said that police have arrested me. He parked at the side. So we now go to the hotel that the lodge. He's going to take the key and the phone. So and everything. We now go there and go and sell the car. Sakamo that said
so now that
come back the second day.
what?
Why did you come back to that house?
Yes, it is Mr. Lekan that called me that I should come to that house. I decided that if I go there, if they arrest me, so now when I get there, I observe arrest me. Because this is very so they arrest me. Now I saw the very serious. I said yes, it's one that brought the house. So that is the reason why.
How do you manage to escape?
No, we don't give any show. It is me that no, because I see them. It's the one that saving them by them regret your action.
do you regret your action?
I regret it because they don't listen to what I told them. I want to collect money. I don't want to give them.
How do you manage to escape from police custody? How do you manage?
When I reach there,
Look at the camera, look at the camera.
because I have eyes. So when I fall down, so when I sit down, so I sit down. I don't know that I cannot stand there because I feel that so when I look at like this, God participates in the afternoon, just pray to so started shooting. That is why I don't know. So my mama and my wife, they don't know anything. They don't know anything about what happened. So they
Now, there's an old African saying that if there's no enemy within, the enemy without can do us no harm. This is a perfect example of it, where this unfortunate family, the Fatinoyes, had their own driver, betraying them to armed robbers who are also rumored to be occultists to attack them and rob them, all because he, the driver, decided that he wanted them to increase his salary and demanded same of them that they should increase the salary for him. And when the Fatinoyes refused to increase his salary for him, he was angry about it and it didn't settle well with him. He went on to also ask them that if not, then they should also buy a motorcycle for him. And the motorcycle in Nigeria is usually called Okada. The Fatinoyes also refused to do this, and this made him very angry and bitter against them, and he decided that he was going to take what is due him by contracting these robbers and cultist friends of his to attack them and rob them, whilst he was behind the scenes directing traffic. And unfortunately for him, and maybe unfortunately for the Fatinoyes too, in the course of the robbery, when the Fatinoyes were being forced to transfer money to an account, eventually they got to know that the account they were to transfer the money to belonged to no other person than their own driver, Lekan Adekanbe. And that is what began to send the conversation off from being just a robbery to now a murder, because he decided it was better for them to die than for him to be identified later on as the brain behind the whole thing. That is how wicked people can be. And sometimes when you watch things like this, you hear issues like this, you begin to look at people funny, especially when you are in a position to help them, but that help might bring them closer to you, and you are no longer sure of who they are and what they might do when they begin to know some things about you after they get close. So I commend the police in Ogun State in Nigeria for this quick wrap-up, because it looked bad for them when Lekan escaped whilst in the custody of two of their officers. And with this confession, I'm sure that the prosecution will be swift. And I'm hoping he gets the maximum sentence, because he has wiped out an entire family. These Fatinoyes actually lost their kid a year before this incident, and just when it seemed they were moving on, this has also happened, and this tragedy has wiped them off the face of the earth, together with their last remaining kid, all because a greedy, entitled, insensitive driver of theirs felt that he was entitled to their money. So if they were not going to increase his salary and also buy him a motorcycle, then he was going to go down this route. I don't understand. If you don't like the money you are being paid and you went for negotiations and it didn't work out, you can always quit that job. It's not by force. You have no audacity, no authority, and no right to decide to go down the route of robbery and ultimately murder. But like I've always been saying, you never know what people are thinking, so try and put measures in place as best as you can to mitigate some of these things. I don't know if they did a background check before they even employed this guy, not to blame them, but just to cite some security tips. I think it's about time we do some of these background checks. But then again, even the background checks sometimes might not reveal anything, because some people may now be coming out of their shell and they wouldn't have a past history that would show you any indication of who they really are when they get rubbed off the wrong way. Keep an eye out, stay safe out there. We'll come back again and give you updates on this case as and when they are due. Subscribe to the channel if you already haven't done so. Hit the post notifications button. Put us on the speed dial. Let us be your first channel of choice when it comes to true crimes in Africa and the world over. We are bringing you amazing content all year round from the whole wide world. Catch you next time.